Tuesday, November 14, to inherit eternal life. Read Luke chapter 10, verses 27 and 28. What was the lawyer's answer to his own question? Luke 10, beginning at verse 27. So he answered and said, You shall love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, with all your strength, and with all your mind, and your neighbour as yourself. And he said to him, You have answered rightly. Do this, and you will live. The lawyer had asked the question, and he himself gave the answer. Love the Lord your God with all your heart, and love your neighbour as yourself, in verse 27. What was the response of Jesus? He said, You have answered rightly, in verse 28. Jesus went on to challenge him to do something about it by saying, Do this and you will live, in verse 28. For most believers, giving the right answers about doctrine and faith is not that difficult. The challenge instead comes in doing what they know is right and following what they believe. A lot of people who, though knowing enough to be saved, will be lost because they didn't obey what they knew. That's how serious this issue is. Just knowing about loving God and your neighbour isn't enough. You have to do it. Read James 2, verses 17 to 22. How do these verses parallel what Jesus said to the lawyer? So James chapter 2, beginning at verse 17. Thus also faith by itself, if it does not have works, is dead. But someone will say, You have faith, and I have works. Show me your faith without your works, and I will show you my faith by my works. You believe that there is one God. You do well. Even the demons believe and tremble. But do you want to know, O foolish man, that faith without works is dead? Was not Abraham our father justified by works when he offered Isaac his son on the altar? Do you see that faith was working together with his works, and by works faith was made perfect? If we love God, we will read his word, we will pray, we will keep his commandments, and we will be obedient to his voice with all our heart. If I say I love others, but I don't care about others in church, or if I ignore the needs of others when I can help, what good is my faith? Christianity is not just a set of distinct beliefs. It is a way of life. And we read in James 2, verses 15 and 16, If a brother or sister is naked and destitute of daily food, and one of you says to them, Depart in peace, be warmed and filled, but you do not give them the things which are needed for the body, what does it profit? And so to finish today, how much do you care about the welfare of others? How much do you follow the words of Paul in Philippians 2, verse 4? Let each of you look out not only for his own interests, but also for the interests of others. By God's grace, how can you learn to care more for others? You have been listening to a reading of the Adult Sabbath School lessons by Dr. Percy Harrold and the inside story by his niece Sibylla. Apart from being provided free to those who are visually impaired, these audio lessons are available on the official General Conference Sabbath School and Personal Ministry app, on SoundCloud, Apple iTunes, and also on YouTube. Search for Percy Harrold Sabbath to find all of these. And remembering all the time that God is always faithful.